Hi, my name is Randy Newsom. I'm here to show you how you could take an everyday cut of meat, such as a beef brisket, and prepare that meat so that you can end up with 4 or 5 different meals and different recipes using the same cut of meat. We're going to take one cut of meat, like I said, a beef brisket, which is the lower part of the breast of a beef. It's got a lot of connective tissue, a lot of muscle tissue. This is not something that you can cook fast. It has to be cooked really slow. There are different methods you could do. You could put it in an oven, you could put it in a crock pot even, or you could probably pressure cook it. But my best method and what I like to use is the long, slow cook method. And with that, I wanted to introduce my rib rub, because this is how we get started. I'm going to take the plastic off of the meat here and get it laid out and prepare it so you can see me putting the rib rub on it. Turn it over, and you'll see the other side there. Again, just take some more and put it out on here and rub it in. Welcome back. I want to show you what the meat looks like at this point. It has been sitting with the seasoning on it, and oh, that smells so good. Just the seasoning alone from my rib rub, you see how it's bloomed out and how pretty it is, how nice and red it is. I've used 2 cups full of extra virgin olive oil. I use a cup of soy sauce. I use a ½ cup of honey, and I like to use local honey because it's better for you anyway. It's better for your allergies and all that. I use a little bit of my finishing salt that I have and some garlic salt. Put a little bit of bay leaf in with this, and what you do at this point is basically just pour this. You pour it all over the meat. Now, at this point also, I'm going to let it set. It'll be an hour. I'll put it in there. And it's approximately 11:30. I'm a night owl, so it's going to be about 12:30. I'll put it on, and then in the morning when I get up, about probably 7:30 or 8 o'clock, it should be about ready to cut. As you can see, the meat has cooked, and if you can zoom in on this just a little bit and see, I've already removed part of the brisket from the whole brisket, and it is just beautiful, and the smell that's emanating right now from this is just awesome. But I like to spread it out in my pan a little bit, if you can see this. And before long, this pan will be filled up by the time I get finished. But at this point, I also take some real butter, just a couple of slices of real butter. Now, I don't use margarine because I don't feel it's safe. I've done research on it, and I think that regular butter is the way to go. Mind you, the meat needs nothing at this point. You could cut it, slice it, and serve it on a plate right now for dinner. The whole idea behind this video was to show you how to do something that was healthy and budget conscious. So let's start with the first meal. This is the basic meal. As I said, the brisket itself was good enough to eat just by itself. Everybody who tries that brisket just seems to fall in love with it, with the seasoning stuff that we have on it. So you can serve it straight from the slow cooker, just like this, once you slice it. To make it a little bit more healthier, put some broccoli with it, or chopped broccoli. Put some tomato and mozzarella and some basil and some extra virgin olive oil. So there's your first plate. The second plate that you can do is something that usually goes over good at picnics or family gatherings, of course, is you take the brisket, you put it on a sandwich, and throw a little bit of barbecue sauce on it. At this point, some people like to have the coleslaw on it. You can put it beside of it or put it on it, that's your choice. Serve it with some baked lays, and you've got a full meal right there. And then the next meal that we have is the brisket tacos. There's different ways you can do this, but what I like to do is take the brisket, don't put anything on the meat, just heat it up and put it on your shell. You can use flour shells or corn shells, either one. Take you some fajita seasoned peppers, green peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers, and onion. Put that on top of it, garnish it with some cheese, and then put a little dollop of the sour cream on it, and you've got a really nice brisket taco. But now we're going to take our bread, and I'm going to show you what we use here. This is just a plain store brand, home style bread dough. Comes in a frozen log like this, frozen loaf, and you're going to take it basically, and you're going to follow the directions on the bag. And we put it in a bread pan. You can see how it's raised up, it's done what it's needed to do, and we're getting ready now to put it out onto the foil. We've got fresh vegetables to put in that, some fresh red pepper, yellow pepper, green pepper, and onions. A little bit of seasoning, but not much. We sauteed it, but not cooking it all the way through because it's going to cook more inside the braid. Now here we go with the vegetables, and this is what helps make it the Philly beef and cheese. And of course we can't forget the cheese. So we've got a Italian blend with 6 different cheeses. You can't go wrong with that. Just top it with a little bit of Parmesan. Now you're ready to just roll up the aluminum foil, put it on a pizza pan, and bake it in the oven 350 until it's golden brown, usually about 30 minutes. Okay, now we're on our 5th example of what we're going to be making with our brisket. This recipe is just a straight up omelet with fresh ingredients. We're going to use fresh spinach, we're going to use fresh portobello, baby portobello mushrooms, and of course our brisket. But when I say fresh, I mean fresh, because we even use the fresh eggs that we get from our neighbors. Okay. Now we're looking at the egg, and lots of different methods, I guess, to do your omelets. I like to let it set up and then push it back and then let it fill in different areas of the pan. Saw that on a cruise ship once with a chef doing that, and I was really impressed with that. Now we're going to put the spinach on. Just do it as freely as you want, because when we flip it over, it's all going to be together anyway. Put a little bit of the mushrooms on here. Just do as much as you like. And of course the meat. Got to get that meat in there, because this is our star of the show, is our beef brisket. And again, we've not seasoned the brisket any way outside of what we originally seasoned it with. So we're ready to flip it. Here comes the how good that looks. And then we're going to take it from there. Let it cook just a little bit more. I'm going to bring it on out into the plate. Turn off your skillet. And you have a beautiful omelet there for breakfast. You could use this for brunch. You could use it for any time. So beef is not just what's for dinner. It's also what's for brunch. It's what's for lunch, and anytime you want it. And now we're back. We've taken our braid out of the oven after it's cooked for about 30 minutes. You can see it's golden brown. We've sliced it off. I recommend slicing about 1.5 inches to 2 inches wide. I mean, you've got your own little sandwich right there, and this is delicious. What we were charged with here was to prepare a meal that was budget conscious and beef conscious, and we've taken it. We've made 5 different recipes, and that's just 5. I mean, there's endless possibilities that you could use with this brisket that we made. The original cost of that brisket was $39.99 for 15 pounds. You cook it, after you cook it, you do lose a little bit because of it rendering down, but we've had enough now to fix 5 different recipes for a family of 4. When you do the math on that, that's 20 meals. But we've got enough brisket left over here to put in at least another 8 to 10 meals. So 2 more recipes we could use that brisket for. And if you break that down, the $40 cost in the brisket, divide that by 30 meals, it's $1.33. And I'm telling you, the meat is so good, you don't have to put it with anything, but it works with everything. You add your fresh vegetables to that. You add your breads or whatever, so you have all of the food groups that you need. And you're going to be able to feed your family of 4 for less than $3 a person with this. It's a no-brainer, and my way of thinking, it's a no-brainer. Now, this is beef conscious. The beef industry uses the theme or slogan, beef, it's what's for dinner. Actually, it's what's for dinner. It's what's for lunch or brunch. It's not only budget smart, it's beef smart. I'm Randy Newsom, and thank you for watching our video on how to prepare and be budget conscious